everyone. This is Nasir Qureshi again, Realtor Daddy from Houston, Texas, back again on demand Wisdom Wednesday TV show. We are here again with great special guest with a special information bringing to you. So we have Budrebel. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good. I just want to dedicate this podcast to Charlie Cook. I don't know what people's philosophical views, points, and so forth, but to see someone gunned down because their views might be different than somebody else's, it's not America. And hearing about that, he's 31 years old. He has two children that are seeing their father die. It's a very sad statement today that happened. Even though I'm honored to be on the show, I just want to dedicate this time to in his memory, you might say.
Thank you. Well, thank you for being with us. So tell our audience who is Bud Rebel and where are you from? What do you do?
So Bud Rebel is, I would say, who I want to be in real life, you might say. It's not my real name, but it's basically comes from two things. It comes from being a buddy, which is somebody who just like, always warm and nice, and being a rebel, being your own self. And I think everybody has a little bit of quote Bud Rebel in them. My family, I was the only one with a nickname. They used to call me Buddy. That was my nickname, I guess, because I'm a little outgoing. And a rebel because I don't follow what you're supposed to do. Bud Rebel itself started out basically as somebody just wrote a blog. And I wrote a lot of content because it was good therapy. It's much cheaper than a therapist. And then I decided to make video content on it, which we did little videos, which you can see in the Bud Rebel production type thing. But before that, I was writing a whole bunch of scripts. And at a certain age, I decided, you know what? So I took a 2-day film class by a guy named Dov Simmons. And he taught at UCLA and NYU. He said, anybody can make a film, but you're not going to make money. He was right about both. I did make a film, a really great film called All Screwed Up, my first film. And I had a lady named China Lane, who was a phenomenal actress who you probably know out there. Has been in so many films right now. But we didn't know she was going to be that big a star when we did her, put her in. And that was my first film. And I got the bug, you might say. So I made another film several years later called The Undead. And again, a really great film, a lot of fun, but financially it wasn't the best investment. So I decided to try something different. I decided to say, you know what? I'm going to take one of my scripts and I'm going to make it a blog. I mean, a blog. I'm going to make it a podcast instead because the elements are so much easier to control, less expense, and you can get much bigger talent at a lower cost. So that is the most updated project of Seduction, which is coming out very shortly. And I'm really excited about that.
And where people can, for people who are not familiar with your blog, where can they find your blog?
My blog is Bud Rebel Productions. That's out there.com. My YouTube channel is budrebelproductions.com. My my Spotify is going to be my Spotify is Bud Rebel show, the Bud Rebel show, and Seduction will be on the Spotify channel and on Apple eventually. We're going to blow it up on Spotify, and then we will get up on Apple and other formats as well. So everything's in the Bud Rebel. You can find the whole world about me in there, and I'm very open. I don't hide anything back. And one thing they know is I'm authentic. I always have my opinions out there. Try to be kind about it. Sometimes they're not as kind as I should be, maybe, but generally I try to be kind. And I try to make people think about different perspectives, whatever comes in this head, because there's no point to keep it in the head. You might as well let it all out and let the world explore.
So how long you been doing podcasting and blogging?
Podcasting must be around, I would say, maybe over a year, maybe a little bit over a year. We did like in and out, and I really love it. I mean, it's one of the most exciting parts of my journey, you might say. I just love talking to people. And my podcast is fun because I bring up some business ideas. I give away my great business ideas or some lousy ideas, but they're definitely things that you wouldn't hear anybody else. And hopefully people will make some money and hope maybe have me involved in it. And then I also talk about financial advice. I have weird facts. And most importantly, I have really exciting guests. I mean, like really cool people from Holocaust survivors to people that are major celebrities that have fortunately come across our desk, you might say. And their stories and how they got in their struggles. It's really been eye-opening and really rewarding.
If you have to start over again, what you would do different?
Ooh, if I had to start over again, it's a great question. It's a good question. I don't know where I'd start. Probably start a lot earlier in the podcast world. I would like to have been one of the first people that started. I think if I started earlier, I would have had a bigger jump on there because I do love that. And maybe going to film school instead of going business school. I don't know because I don't know. We learn a lot about business. I think a lot also has to be as you grow, you get more confidence. So if at a younger age I had developed that confidence, I might have taken one of my business ideas and who knows, maybe I've been Steve Jobs or maybe bankrupt, but at least I would have put them out there a little bolder. And I didn't do as much because again, confidence at the younger age is hard to develop.
Your message to how to get started in film, movie, podcasting industry for anyone.
I would say the most important thing, I hate to sound like a Nike commercial, but I'm going to sound it. I would say just do it. You just gotta get your feet warm, you know. You just can't like just think about it. Don't talk to the people that are going to say no. So generally, I unless you have really good family, it's no reason to talk to them. Talk to people that you feel are encouraging and supportive of you. And start small. You don't have to make the biggest production. Do something small and tight that you can afford to do. You could be a one act performance, whatever. Just but remember to just do it. Enjoy the process because the process is more fun, honestly, than sometimes when it comes out. I don't even watch any of my podcasts. I don't even listen to them. I just enjoy talking to people. And the same thing with filmmaking. I enjoy the idea of writing the script and seeing it being made in front of me. Watching it on the screen is weird because it's such a different process. The podcast world. And then again, if you're a filmmaker, I'm going to tell you go out and do it as a podcast. You will have so much more control. You can really hear your script come alive. And if people like it, you'll have the funds to make it into a film. So if you do it that way, it's much better than going out and trying to make a film from scratch. So the podcast way, and we can help you out if you're a creative person out there. I have an awesome team that can do that for you as well, just so you know.
So, an upcoming seduction without
Yes.
spilling the beans. What can we expect a little bit?
Seduction is the story of what we all face in some way. It's the idea of temptation. Now, some find it through gambling, some find it for drugs, some in sex. It's the idea of why someone gets initially stuck in that world. And even though they're in that world and they know it's wrong, they can't get out. And what can happen to the best of us when we get pulled in. So I really want it to be something that everybody can understand because whether we've gone through it or know people, we've already been tempted to do things that we shouldn't do. And I think it's a good education in a fun way. It is entertainment, so you will be entertained, number one. And number two, you might be more understanding of other people and the struggles they go through. And we also there's some mental health, which again needs to be discussed much more in society as a whole. So I think that's important. But again, in a way that's not boring or lecturing, but definitely one that is full of a lot of entertainment and excitement, like these dogs bark in the background. They're excited about it. I don't.
What inspires you, Bedwar?
When I write, actually life inspires me. And sometimes the worst parts of my life inspire me because sometimes you can't confront people that, let's say, are causing you a little bit of angst or anxiety, but you can make characters with them. And those characters can go on different journeys than you want them to go on. In real life, you can't. So I would say writing the stories is inspirational because I create a world that is something that has some of the characters that I know and bring them into different places and then they could change the way I want, which is very nice. Not the real way, but in the way, in a nice story, or in the way. I mean, I think that they shouldn't go, but at least it's entertaining.
Favorite actor?
My favorite actor, I guess, old school. I really do enjoy watching Tom Cruise. I think he's a lot of fun. I mean, I think people see him now as just an action hero, but he was in movies like was it Born on the Fourth of July? I think I remember correct that he was in some really serious movies at some point, and I always enjoyed his acting. I mean, as I get older, it changes a little bit. Denzel Washington, I also think is amazing. He's really got a
Mm.
lot of development. It's really fun to see him do that. I always love when characters go out of their bounds they normally do. So I really enjoy that.
Favorite food?
Favorite food. Wow. I like to have a eclectic taste of food. So it's like I love all different food, whatever mood I'm in. So it's hard to put down one. I mean, I love a good pizza with like really good sauce, a little sweet sauce, a little spice sauce. I love that. I can go for, I love good Indian food. I have such a variety of taste, and I love the idea that you can one day go for Italian, the next day you can go for Chinese and just experience the flavors. I just love spices. I love the smell of the spice. I love the whole aura of food. It's really makes your day sometimes and tastes good.
If you had a time travel machine, which time would you like to go and why?
I think I want to go back to when the Ten Commandments were there. I would like to see that live, to see the whole thing come about. It'd be pretty
Which
amazing.
time? Sorry, which
when
time?
the te- when the Ten Commandments were there, right on that mountain,
Oh,
on
okay.
Mount
Yeah.
Sinai, hearing that, God speaking to everyone at the same time, I think I can't imagine a more exciting time. And knowing, quote, your real purpose in life, that would be pretty cool. Maybe it would be good to come back and just be there and try to kill Adolf Hitler just before he comes to power. There's, they're all different time periods. Yeah, I know there's so many stories not told that I'd love to be able to tell in my life and that aren't being told in the media as a whole. And that's one of the reasons I'd love to go back and tell it from the perspective of being there. That would be pretty amazing.
Fantastic. So, um, this is the
How about
question
you,
that
by the way? I'm going to ask you. How about you? Where would you like to go back? Can I ask you that question?
sure, no problem. I think I really like the 50s cars, 50s Chevys and classic cars. So I would like to go back in 50s.
To watch the cars. That's cool. Yeah, see the
Yeah,
roller like,
the
and how
the
about
the
and how about
di
the time when
the
they and how about the time when they come out with the roller skates and they give you the shakes out in your car sitting in
yeah,
the
the
out there?
diners and shakes and 50s. I like the 50s cars. So yeah.
That's cool. Yeah.
So this is uh this is the last question that I ask
All right.
everybody, all my guests. I ask this question. What is the one message that you would like to give to the humanity, uh, generally, just to the humans, whether people watch this 1 year, 10 year, 100 or 500 years from now, somewhere they watch us asking you this question. What advice would you give to somebody on planet Earth, human to
Yeah.
human?
Human to human. Well, I guess I'd start out with that same Budrebel thing, that it's really important to find your unique self. That don't be who you're not. Be who you are. And at the same time, be kind to people. Don't be a jerk about it. You have a right to your views, but you don't have the right to bother people. You have a right to state what you believe, but in a way that people can understand. And I think that's important to be who you are, but being a good person about it. I think that's we're missing that a lot in society today. I think we're missing that idea that people feel either they can't state their thoughts and they feel like they stay in a corner, or they shout out people their thoughts. And I think there's a variance on that too. And I would say that's important. I think it's also important that you need to develop self-confidence by doing things, by staying active, by allowing. I mean, we all go through different moments in life, and the most important thing is to stay active. Our time is short on this earth, and God put us all here for a very special reason. And everyone has a different meaning and different purpose. But one purpose I can tell you now, it's not here to sleep 24/7. So you need to get out there and show the world your special talents, whether it's in anything. It doesn't make a difference because you are really special. Otherwise, God would not have put you on this earth.
Fantastic. Great advice. I love it. And I had a great time with you. Thank you so much for being with us. We'll love to have you back.
Thank you so much for having me, and it's a pleasure being with you tonight.
Thank you.